Yeah, and I have also some question for Fabio, because we get this question very, very often. And I think, Fabio, you are the good one to explain this. So what routine is a good routine for someone who is maybe new with our MenthorQ, and how he can start? So what should maybe, for example, he trading the SPY. So, and he will be completely informed about the SPY. So what steps he should do that this doesn't cost so much time, but he is well informed?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like, yeah, we got a question actually today as well about this. So again, this goes into the steps that we have. So first of all, we have a MenthorQ setup guide that would go through exactly what Patrick is asking. So step by step, like what data do you provide? Why is it important? How should I start, right? You know, so step by step. But essentially, the answer is if you find an asset that you care about and is part of the channels here, for example, the SPY, take a look at the data that is available there, and also take a look at the order. So like there is a reason why we follow a specific order there. We also have another documentation here, which is very helpful, which is get set up with MenthorQ in less than 5 minutes. So let's go through this. So essentially, you can find basically, no, actually, this one is, yeah, this one. Okay, so there's a video. So step one is you want to build your trading view levels. So again, I can go on the bot, I can look at the trading view levels, I can copy this text, I can put it into my chart. So I can go here and I can, let's put it here. So now I can go to SPY. And now I have my levels for the day, right? So that's step number one. Step number two is looking at the liquidity regime. So it's very important to understand the difference between positive and negative gamma and how that could change the volatility of your asset. So again, you always want to trade in the right side of volatility, right? So you always want to know, is it going to be a volatile day or is it going to be like a non-volatile day, right? So again, for the strategy that Patrick is doing, he wants volatility. He is benefiting from volatility. But if you are selling options, then you want volatility probably to be low because you want to like benefit from the passage of time, right? So based on the strategy, the next step is to look at the liquidity regime. So we are in a negative gamma condition. So in negative gamma, market makers hedge differently than in positive gamma. So you knowing that is very important. Where can I find out about this? So we have documentation here. So if you go on our blog, and you go under option data, here you have positive and negative gamma. There's a guide really dedicated to this concept, very important. Understand if the day is going to be volatile. How much can we expect the market to move today? Is it going to be more volatile than yesterday? And so on. How is the implied volatility versus the historical volatility? Then we want to look at the main charts. So if we go back to our documentation, then we want to look at the table, our key level table, right? So we can go back on our chart, and here we have the key levels. So we know that we have the primary levels, which is the core resistance, put support, high vol level. We want to know where they are. We can always see them here directly in the chart on TradingView. We also want to monitor how distant we are from the high vol level, which we can find here. The high vol level is really the volatility shift between positive and negative gamma. And then we want to know the open interest and jacks and so on. So you can learn more about this as well. Then the next step is understanding our net gamma exposure and what are the levels that are going to be a reaction zone. Is the market, you know, positioned more on the call side, or is it positioned more on the put side? Very important. Then we can monitor volume and open interest. We want to know where the big open interest nodes are. You know, this is what we do all day. We want to understand, okay, are there a lot of open options on certain strikes, right? And where is the volume coming from? IV per open interest. This one is another important one. You know, we want to monitor implied volatility versus open interest. We want to see if there is a lot of implied volatility for certain strike prices and so on. So these are all models that you can access directly through here just by scrolling down. They follow an order, so you know, follow the order with it, understand the data. We also want to look at the matrix. An example, I'm going to give you like a really nice trick. So the matrix is really simplifying the option chain, right? The option chain is very complicated. Maybe you don't want to know everything about the option chain, but maybe you want to know the key point, which is really, I'm doing a 7-day trade. What should I be looking for? Like, what is the market doing in those 7 days? So we simplify this for you. We tell you how much gamma is expiring in that expiration, how much delta is expiring, what are the ratio, what is the volume, and then you also have very important points here, which are the levels for that expiration and the move for that expiration. So again, we can forecast based on forward-looking volatility that the price will stay between plus or minus 9 points on the SPY from now to the 31st. So again, it's not really telling you, it's really like trying to forecast the volatility for that expiration, right? That's what the model is trying to do. So again, for you is a very important clue, because if you know that there is a high correlation of that, then you can kind of like monitor your strategy based on those data points. And then term structure, this is a bit more complicated. And then you also want to go into more of the systematic models. So you want to follow the liquidity. We have CTS models. Again, we have more documentation, but essentially, you know, those would be the steps that you would take if you study with us, and if you like, you look at an asset and you start using the models.
Yeah, that's a good point. And this is how you can build also some morning routine. It needs maybe for you in the future 1, 2, 3 minutes, and you get the big picture and you have the big picture in your mind. Mm-hmm. This is, for example, what I'm doing every time what Fabio is saying with the VIX, because for me as a futures trader, the volatility index is very important. I think it's much more important than to have the QQQ or the NQ options information. So the VIX is for me the leader. Yeah. And it needs only 2 minutes. And champs, you have to do your homework. And if you ask for a routine, this is a highly recommended routine.
Yeah,